doctor who treats hysteria in the early, or in the, I'm sorry, I think it's the late 1800s, early 1900s, and basically it's a wife that is postpartum, and she's experiencing depression, and the way the first act ends is her and the doctor's wife essentially using the vibrator on each other.
Nice.
Wow.
Live, by the way.
Nothing like a little post-wank clarity. Hello, everybody.
In the Next Room by Sarah Rule. It's a fantastic
I'm
play.
assuming it's an extremely NSFW play.
I love how the first 1900 years of women's health was either masturbate or suck it up.
Anyway,
Yeah.
to continue interrupting Kevin so he can't get whatever he's trying to say out.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the VGRCast, the weekly podcast about anything and everything in between. This week, I'm joined by my lovely friends Steve, Mike, Monica, Ryan, and my lovely fiance, Chris. My name's Kev. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
That's all, folks.
I mean, it's not that NSFW because ISU did it my senior year.
As I recall, the ISU also did a play where one of the characters got topless. So I mean,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Oh, that was
Wasn't that Cabaret?
Gloria. No,
Louise.
no. Cabaret was someone getting completely naked. A guy and is like, "Oh, put dick shot for 2 seconds." No, you're thinking of Glory of Living.
correct.
Which honestly, reflecting back on it, that was a huge, like, oh my god, she gotta show her boobies. And it really didn't add anything to the story. Or the nudity wasn't really necessary.
Shock
God,
value.
boobies.
Yeah,
I
kinda.
disagree. All nudity is necessary.
Speaking of boobies, Bly Manor.
Hey.
There's no boobies in Bly Manor.
Well, I mean, Danny has boobies. Jamie has boobies.
I mean, Steve liked the transition.
It's on par with Kevin's, but you delivered it better.
Yeah, you didn't like pussyfoot around it. You were just like, hey, Bly Manor.
Listen, the pussyfooting
Never mind that
around it.
shit, Here comes Mongo.
The pussyfooting around it is part of the transition. So yes,
No, it
today we are talking about Bly Manor episodes 7, 8, and 9.
Ooh, 3 episodes.
Yep. Let me pull up my
Let's
list of what
unpack
episodes.
it, bitches.
Ooh, excuse me.
Well, before we get into the really, really cool stuff about these episodes, I do want to talk about something that was not in these episodes that was kind of just left unanswered. Is we don't see Ghost Boyfriend ever again.
No, because
I did notice that, but I think it kind of got
She let him go.
resolved.
She
Got
let
I
him
would not
resolved.
say it was resolved.
Yeah, because
whatever.
by burning the glasses, because he, as I think I talked about this a lot, where it's like he was more of a physical representation of her trauma, and by her putting the glasses in the fire, that was her way of letting him go. And I think it was talked about, I can't remember by who, but when she did that, like you could see like
He noticed it.
flecks of him going away.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have
Doesn't
to
that
look back
episode
on that.
end with like the "It's just you and me now" line?
Yeah,
Yes.
and then it really does. And then it like the
It's
next
just you?
episode was
Yeah.
Hannah having her ghostly meltdown, and so we never really got. I thought we didn't really get enough closure on Eddie personally.
I'd agree.
I would also agree with that, but I'm fine with where it ended.
I
mean,
honestly,
she just gets drunk and decides I'm gonna burn the glasses.
If it didn't have that last shot, I
Well, 'cause
would
she was
say it was
brave enough.
resolved. But
Because
that
she was
last
brave
shot
enough to burn their
is
glasses.
just
when
kind of
she was-
weird.
Yeah, that is true. Because she held on to them for quite a long time at that point, and again, that storyline was very. And again, with the way that I've digested that storyline, it was very. I thought it was. It could have had a little bit more to it, but I'm fine with where it ended.
Yeah.
While we're on stuff like that, I did think these last 3 episodes had some pacing issues, and I thought the whole series
We'll get to that.
Well, I'm not going into any details. I just
No,
thought it had
stop.
some
That's what
issues.
that's my things are about.
What?
Okay, so
That's what my big
episode
complaint's
7
about. We're gonna get to that one.
Okay.
Episode 7 feels like a million years ago. Can someone remind me how it started?
Previously on Bly Manor, Danny's getting her ass choked out by.
No.
No.
No, that's at the end of the
Oh, you're
episode.
correct.
Episode
Sorry.
7 is where
previously at Bly Manor.
Steve, I literally have the Wikipedia page pulled up.
and I have notes.
Yeah, but apparently your notes are wrong. Episode 7 starts with Danny waking up from being knocked unconscious, and she's tied up in the attic.
All right. She got done whacked.
Yes.
By the children.
Peter possessing Miles whacked her.
Yeah.
Aw.
Whack whack. No,
Stop it.
just whacked her in the back of the head.
Okay, and
Oh, there's another story. There's another thing we didn't really get. Like, I didn't think we got enough clarification on, because early in the episode, Rebecca and Peter are talking to. They keep slipping, slipping back into their own memories. Where Rebecca seems to have like a relatively positive memory, slipping back into memories of her time with Peter. Peter keeps slipping back into a memory of his scammy ass mother, who do not like that woman. But we
I
never really
suppose
got like
That whole
closure
family
as to
is-
what happened there.
I think it's mostly just like possibly their last thoughts. Because if you remember
Yeah.
correctly, in this episode, episode 7, we find out that skipping ahead a little bit, I guess, that Peter possessing Rebecca is actually the one that kills Rebecca. Is that he
which
walks her
fuck
into the
Peter.
lake? Yeah, he
Yeah,
walks her into the
I
lake.
thought-
But her
I-
last thoughts are of him, and they're all sweet and they're nice.
See, I was like, for like a little bit of that episode, I was like, they're making Peter look awfully nice. This seems kind of weird. And then that happened. I'm like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
still
Well,
prick.
there
Got it.
it
Nope,
is.
still bastard.
Nope, I mean, apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, though, because I think it's heavily implied from the memory that he keeps going back to, that the whole reason he was stealing was that his mother was either blackmailing him or she was playing pity to try to get him to give her money.
Blackmail is
It was
a vibe
blackmail.
That is the vibe that I
Also-
is the vibe that I got off. Also,
also
that he
his
was
dad is Also,
Tragic
his dad is a
bastard.
kitty diddler, I guess?
yes,
Yeah.
that was where I was going to go.
Yes, there was
Tragic
that.
bastard.
Yep, there was that. And then the whole, I mean, the mom literally says like, "Oh, does he know about your past, what you've done?" So yeah, it was definitely blackmail. At least
Yeah, for
I'm
sure.
pretty sure it was blackmail, just because
Although
you don't say shit
to
like
be-
that without blackmailing someone.
Although to be fair, given how the sort of memory dreamscape work, it may not have been 100% in that memory, and the what do they know what you've done could be in reference to just all of the shit he did to Rebecca and the Wingraves and whatnot. So
True. I have a feeling though
I
that the
felt
first,
that in. Go ahead.
just the first memory, or the first, in
Loop.
general, the first time we see each ghost's memory loop or whatever, the first one seems very truthful, like what had actually happened, and then it gets more distorted after that, and
Was
that
literally
that
about
could be
to say
wrong.
that exact same thing.
Yeah, I mean, but that could be wrong. I mean, we don't know. That's just kind of the vibe that they've been giving off the entire series. So I guess you could assume the first time it was real, and then each time it got like more and more diluted. But you know, that's a big assumption because they never actually.
So I'm
saw.
not really good at reading into things. Why do y'all think that he kept slipping back to his mom?
Because they literally say it in the line, like he describes that as hell, and he talks about, why didn't I get any good memories? And then the mom says, did you really think that's where you were going?
Yeah, keep in mind that
He doesn't-
Rebecca doesn't like being in that memory either. Remember, she starts like crying and freaking out and stuff. Like
That's
she's like,
true.
"Why this one?" Like they're all in memories that they don't like.
well,
I
well,
was
I don't know if it's necessarily memories that they don't like, but the more that they repeat, the more they realize the where they are trapped.
yeah, but for Peter specifically, it's like he's gone to hell because he was a bad man. This is the Bly Manor equivalent of hell
I
and
think-
purgatory and such.
I think they're all in hell, like, or purgatory or whatever. Like even Rebecca doesn't seem to like
Well-
enjoy that memory she goes to.
I'm going to
She
disagree with
does
both
the
of you.
first. She does the
But-
first couple times. It's on repeat that she starts to not enjoy it.
Yeah,
I'm going to disagree with both of you. I don't think it's any kind of function of the house. It's a creation of their own minds. They're in Neil Gaiman's the Sandman series. It's heavily implied that people can leave hell whenever they want, but as long as they think they deserve to. I think Peter Quint knows he's a fuckwad and is mentally torturing himself because of it. I don't think it's a function of the house per se.
Yeah.
It's all in their minds.
I was being a bit more just metaphorical in it. It's
Okay.
just this is
So again, episode 7 feels like a million years ago. So we get the reveal about the ghost kind of tucking them away. Peter fully takes over Miles with the I am you, you are me, or whatever
It's
the fuck
me,
is
it's
chant.
us. That one.
It's
I'm not
me,
sure
it's you, it's us.
you, it's me, it's us.
It's you, it's me, it's us. Thank you.
I'm not sure if that's a spell or I think it's just acceptance. It's pretty much like accepting them.
Acceptance.
Well, I have a theory about that, but because I have a feeling I know what your criticism is.
Right,
but
you guys can keep talking. I gotta go to bed.
okay, you could do that.
I'm not feeling great.
But it's very specific to, I think, what happens in the next episode, rather.
So is there something different with that, like, so we've seen him where he accidentally possesses Rebecca that first time. So what exactly is different between the acceptance possession and a regular one? Because they don't seem to be functionally any different.
Well,
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, I mean just like when they don't accept it fully, they get pushed out.
Yeah.
Right, but they also seem to get pushed out when they accept it too. Except in Danny's case, but that's the last episode. I'm not going to get into that.
No, they don't
get pushed out.
No, the acceptance. Once Miles accepted fully Peter, like he was fully accepted. Like if the events of the episode did not happen, that he was fully one with Peter. In fact, I'm just going to talk about that. Acceptance is more permanent. And in the original novella of Turn of the Screw, the way that the story ends is that Miles dies because once Peter's spirit is expunged from him, so is Miles.
It's understandable. I'm kind of glad they didn't do that. That was I wouldn't say that felt like a cop out, but like I don't know. Story's pretty fucking dark as it is.
So that's the way the original story ends. So that's why I think the way the acceptance works is that once you fully like invite them in, that they are a part of you, and if you try to exterminate that without their
So, does the original novel have the wedding thing in it, or is that an invention for the show?
No, from what I've been told, and I'm very curious to read the novella on my own right now that we finished the run of the show. From my understanding, the novella is a lot more condensed to just at least I know from the stage version that Nat has read, it's just the governess, the 2 children, the housekeeper, and then the spirits of Peter and Rebecca.
So no lesbians in the
no
the
lesbians.
I mean, it's also
like that. You've lost me.
It's also a novella. It's not a full-on novel, so it's very short.
Honestly, the lack of a love story probably would prevent me from reading that. Like I don't get me wrong, I love me a good horror story, but like you gotta gotta keep me there with something else too, you know.
There's also I looked up on IMDb. There's 35 different adaptions of this particular novella, including this one. So
what?
Wow.
So, to get us back a little bit back on track, they try multiple ways of leaving, where Peter tries to take Rebecca's body off of the property, only to get immediately. Wait, what? We can't lose 2 people. Okay. Where they immediately gets yeeted out of her body and left on the manor grounds while. Rebecca where
she makes it over the line, but he doesn't.
Yes, thank you. Sorry, I have not been Englishing very well today.
I mean, the Englishing helped cover enough time for Kevin to get back. So
hello, it's me, Kevin, the showrunner.
I'm just realizing that. Yeah, I remember fucking nothing about Episode 7 until
Episode 7 wasn't particularly memorable. I think.
No, it should have been with how much stuff happened.
Yeah.
But there was also a lot of other stuff that happened.
Yeah. I think there's something I want to. I want to. Never mind. I'm not going to bring it up then. What else? Okay, so when he takes her body, and do the whole "it's you, it's me, it's us" bullshit, and she accepts him in, and he drowns the fuck out of her because he's a prick.
It's because he knows that there's no way for them to leave together, so his option was to bring her. To reiterate, fuck Peter.
Yeah,
you stay ghost with me.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was. Where was it?
Fuck you, asshole.
Peter. My note is Peter Quint. You absolute fuck. Oh look, there's rotting Peter, and then when she starts to figure it out, like when the water comes, I was like, oh Jesus, she knows it's happening. That's fucking dark.
Also, in the memory, one of the things I really liked in that episode was right before they showed the water in the memory, they had kind of the lighting of the water
against the wall
there, and I'm like,
yeah,
that's a nice touch. I like that.
Back in the present, the kids are freeing Danny, and Rebecca comes back. I only just now realized what they're. So now that I figured out exactly what the possession does, they were just planning to inhabit the kids and leave, right?
Yeah.
I thought because I don't know what made me think of this, but my initial thought was, oh, they're gonna like deathception this and like kill off the kids, sort of. But like, if they die while in their bodies, they'll get like. I don't know. I thought it was like a death within a death thing, if that makes any sense.
No, they were just going to possess them forever and just kind of live out their lives
now. But like, I didn't really figure out exactly how the possession worked. Again, I'm not very good at reading into things, so
it'd be weird because then it's like kissing cousins.
Yeah.
Well,
What?
kissing brother sister? No, actually, they're like
That's some Lannister level shit in there.
half brother sister.
Yeah, half brothers.
They're only half.
Oh yeah, I mean, but that doesn't make it that much better.
You're right. So yeah, then the episode ends with Miles being possessed by Peter, showing Hannah her grave down the well, pretty much showing her dead body and making Hannah kind of come to terms with that she's dead.
Oh
and
fuck,
then,
I'm dead.
Yeah.
And then Rebecca being like, I'm not actually going to possess you, but here's what you need to say in order to get Peter to think it. Because
I love
Peter.
that plot twist. I love that plot twist.
That was good. And then Danny runs away and then gets dragged by the lady in the lake back to the manor.
So we find out kind of interestingly, and it's kind of hinted at, or in episode, actually in I think the last episode-ish, that it's not really and on purpose. Well, I mean, it is, but it's more like she's not going to go out and deliberately hunt people down. It's only if you get in her way, she'll give you the old...
We've known that for a couple episodes now.
Yeah, still, but like...
she has a path.
I'm not good at reading into
more
things.
elaborate.
Yeah, exactly.
It's more elaborated on.
Episode 8.
Oh, wait. I just got a couple more things. My one note is the child actors in the show are really fucking good.
Yeah.
Like when Miles is doing Quint, it's just like spot on. And I had a note that actually I think we don't really figure it out until episode 8 was why does Hannah keep getting pulled back into the Owen memory? And it's because she's in love. And my note was that just she's in love with him, all caps. Because I was just like, oh, I got it. Okay, but yeah.
Before we start episode 8.
Yep.
Episode 8 is probably my least favorite episode.
Really?
Not because of the contents, but because of the placement of it. Episode 8 would have been a fantastic episode if it was episode 4. But episode 8 being right there completely threw off everything for me. Like, nothing, we didn't need episode 8 at all, besides knowing like who the lady in the lake was. And even then, we didn't even need to know who she was. She was a spooky ghost.
Let me know, because if it wasn't there, you would have complained. It's like, who the fuck is the lady in the lake? You would have complained.
Yeah, but
People would have complained.
it could have been like a short like part of the next episode. It didn't need to have its whole episode to explain who she was, and it just threw off the pacing. Like we're having this really
No,
intense
you're
moment
wrong.
in 7, and then
No, you're
it just
wrong.
killed the
It's filler.
pacing. It killed the pacing.
Okay,
It's
see,
filler.
I'm
and I'm-
starting to think you don't know what the word filler means.
Okay, maybe
Because
it's not-
use it a lot, and
It's not okay.
applicable.
It's not. Filler is the wrong word, but Kevin isn't wrong in the fact that it could definitely have been more condensed than it was. So it's eating. It
It's
is
exposition.
plot, but it's
It's an exposition episode
why
that I thought was out of
unnecessary
place.
plot?
Here's the thing. I really, really enjoyed that episode, but I do kind of understand that it really like
It killed the
having
flow.
50 minutes of something else in between Danny getting choked out by the Lady of the Lake
Yeah.
does kind of grind stuff to a halt.
And then the episode
but
ends
I
with her
really
being choked
enjoyed-
out.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
because they were trying to tie it back.
But it didn't.
Yeah,
It didn't
but
do
I think-
anything.
Oh, whatever.
My opinion, my general thought on that with any kind of media is it interesting? Sure, go ahead and do it.
Yeah,
No,
Yeah,
Yeah, it was definitely a compelling story, but I can definitely see where the pacing stuff comes from, and it does
Yeah.
feel like a bit of a last ditch effort of being like,
Explaining
oh shit, we
things.
got to make sure you know what this is before we get to our finale.
It could have
I
been.
mean, I don't really feel like there'd be a better place to put it. If you put it in episode 4, you're giving away the end game way too soon. You know?
But
It's-
what is ruined by that episode being earlier? Nothing. Literally nothing is ruined.
Why
You've
are you
already
so
seen.
angry about a fucking TV show?
Okay, maybe episode 4 is bad placement, but
Yeah, I-
just sooner, because nothing is ruined besides the fact that
I
you
would
know
say
what she's
if
doing.
That was episode 7. It would have been better.
I'd
I'm
agree with
inclined to
that.
agree.
Yeah,
Yeah,
even one episode
definitely
sooner.
Not episode 4, because then you're going to be thinking about it the whole time.
I-
You want
I
it
did-
right before it's relevant.
I did actually have a relevant note on that that I mentioned. Episode 7 was that I noted at the time that I don't think it really matters who the ghosts are. It doesn't matter. I personally think we wouldn't really have. That was before I watched episode 8. Now it
Yeah,
kind
I was
of
about
does.
to say, I'm like, it
It
fucking
does kinda
matters,
matter.
yo.
Like, it matters now, but like at the time, it didn't matter all that much.
Here's-
It's like,
Here's another
Also-
interesting thing. Would it have been better as like little flashbacks throughout the other
No.
episodes? Maybe Danny is discovering, or someone's discovering like pieces of a journal.
No,
or a
because
diary or
that's
something.
That's a cliche.
that's too cliche. Yeah, I was
And
gonna
having
say.
an entire like flashback episode about here's the origin story. That's not cliche.
Not really. That's not
I
done
mean,
very
in
much.
terms of the origin story that it tells, I do
Well,
enjoy
done.
it.
Yeah,
I'm-
a great origin story. And
I'm
it
agreeing with you
brings-
guys there. It was a good episode, but just in a bad
I-
spot.
I actually liked it because like most like horror stuff goes like, hey, this place is haunted as shit. I don't know. It's just haunted as shit. And then
that's
I,
the
for
beauty of
one-
Gothic horror.
I, for one, love it.
But no, I like the fact that this one actually explains why it's haunted as shit. Because Viola is just like, fuck that shit. I'm not leaving, and all you motherfuckers are staying here with me.
I don't know.
Well,
I,
She's
for
just
one,
a-
love it
she's just
when
a petty bitch.
Yeah.
I-
But also that
Let
That
Kevin
whole
finish
just-
his thought, Mike.
it's fine. Go, Mike.
No, Kevin, you've been trying to talk for the past 5
I see.
minutes.
I, for one, love it when you get to the climax of a show and then it pauses for 50 minutes.
again.
Welcome to
Yes,
anime.
we're aware of this. We already agreed that maybe episode 7 would have been a better spot for it.
Yeah.
But the content itself is really fucking good, especially in how it plays on like the idea of how all of the makings of this house from way back in the 1600s to today are all the workings of
This
man.
bitch.
It's not necessarily purely supernatural in origin. It's all because of the choices that people make.
That bitch there.
That,
Yeah.
that bitch over there,
Bitch's pure willpower kept her alive.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
Fightful.
she'd be a good Green Lantern.
Die!
Or-
No!
Yeah, pretty much. Here's your last right. No.
And he's like, but
No, I don't
but
think I will.
Say the line.
Take your Bible and shove it up your ass. Something else I noted at the end of episode 7, I kind of realized that the ghosts have very distinct personalities, whereas Violet we later learned to be Violet is very, very choky. Whereas Red Dress Ghost, who we later learned is Perdita, is kind of shy and meek and likes to sing.
Another thing I really liked about this episode is like it's tragic, but everyone in it is a bad person.
Oh yeah.
So it's like they absolutely brought it on themselves, but it still manages to have that little tinge of tragedy to it.
Yeah, so the story goes is that there were two sisters, Viola and Perdita, that had their father died, and because it was the 1700s, women can't own property, yo, so...
Yeah.
Hey, I can...
Which is the proper...
Someone should have told Viola.
Can I read the Wikipedia article?
No.
Okay, that's fine. Let's go.
Why? Why are you being?
Because I'm trying to speed up this part.
Any of your teachers in any year
we're talking about this last
Wikipedia.
I know, but we don't need to go over the entire episode.
Okay, just.
But anyway, the point being is that the sisters scheme together, and the whole drive is that she doesn't want to leave Bly.
Yeah.
And that ultimately is what causes her to causes her spirit to stay there. And one of the things that Nat was like, but wait, what about all the sick house ghosts? And I'm like, I don't think it's anyone that's spirit is stuck at Bly is anyone that was explicitly killed at Bly, not necessarily that they died there. Because Viola was killed by her sister.
Right, it's only people killed by Violet or
Viola.
No, you're right.
No, just people that are killed, not necessarily because the two exceptions to that rule are Viola herself and then Peter killing Rebecca.
I think they specifically, and then also Miles/Peter killing Hannah.
Yeah, that too.
No, but they specifically say.
They specifically say die.
Okay.
Sorry, I had the thought too.
I just had a music note that I don't know if anyone else noticed that the music throughout this, it's a recurring theme throughout the episode that it's the main theme except in like a piano version. I don't know if it was piano, but it was definitely the main theme. It was just different.
I'll be honest, I don't know what the main theme is because we usually skip the intro.
I also
Anyway, before Kevin gets copywritten, but also that was the creepy ass jump scare with her opening the lock and just
that was so funny.
Oh, did you not see that coming? I saw that coming from a mile away.
Saw that coming.
As soon as she started talking about the trunk, I was like, oh, she's in the trunk.
I knew she was in the trunk. I guess I didn't expect just arms.
Yeah, I saw it coming, but not in the way that it was presented.
No, I agree. My note is like halfway through the episode, prediction: she'll open the chest, Viola's inside, and is gonna choke a bitch.
And I do like the first shot of that. It's just the dress doing it, but then when we see it from Viola's perspective, it is her doing it. So it's like
well, because
we see that no one else can see her at this point. So that
she would wake. And she chose violence.
But it was.
Can't say I blame her.
But again, it's just one of those things where there's very specific rule sets to these ghosts. Like, it's not just they're spooky for the sake of being spooky. It's part of the world building in the sense of just one of the repeating themes is she wakes up, she gets up, she goes back to bed.
Mm-hmm.
And
that continues on to her ghost.
And that continues on. Whereas with Perdita, her ghost just writhes on the floor because she's being choked.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, speaking of repetition, just the general visual presentation of the repetition stuff was just really good at just bumping up the anxiety and just general sense of dread and stuff. So really enjoyed that part.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I just had a note about repetition where she was singing and walking, and I noted that's the exact same path that Choky Ghost takes. So yeah, I would set out early.
Also, the "it's you, it's me, it's us" is what they say to each other, the sisters.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that actually.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I also have a note for when she's being cared for because Viola has choky lung disease of some kind. So
Consumption.
I didn't catch that either.
Consumption,
the lung.
tuberculosis, it's all the same thing.
It's what your character gets in Red Dead 2. Spoiler.
My note for that is shockingly bleeding and leeches don't cure the lungs.
Oh shit.
Yeah. You gotta fix the humors.
But one of the other interesting things is after the sisters succumb and it's just like, okay, but why is she in the lake? And then it's yeet. It's like, oh no. But then we start to see her path start to go, and what I had initially thought and referred to as Inquisition Ghost was actually a plague doctor from the sick house.
Where did
Stop the plague.
where did he show up earlier in the show?
He showed up when she was talking to Viola, when Danny was talking to Flora. She just kind of like appeared over Danny's shoulder, or he.
Oh yeah.
It was
That
that
like
weird
the first.
Yeah, Plague Doctor was real early.
Yeah.
Plague
you
Doctor.
saw him on...
One of the things. Plague Doctor was also the one when I made the comment in the first episode. Nat's like, "Oh, look at the tree." I'm like, "What's behind the tree?" And then it disappears. I'm like, "That's not a tree. That was the Plague Doctor."
I caught that too.
He was the one where it was like the shot like pans out and then he like turns right in front of the camera. I think that was him.
You kind of see his like beak thing turn.
Yeah. If you want me to send it to you guys later, I found a video that shows all of the background ghosts.
Oh, I'd actually be very interested in watching that.
And it was very interesting because I caught maybe like 2% of it. But I'll talk a little bit more about that once we get to the end because there's some interesting ones.
82 hidden ghosts.
Yeah.
I did like that me and Kevin were very close, if not spot on, with the forgetting over time with the faces and the features and the eroding and the stuff like that.
Faces and the features.
Also, it's fucking sad how Ghost Boy exists.
Right?
That's fucking sad.
Yeah.
Jeez,
this child is mine now.
Suck. I do like that. Like it's very like so many of these ghosts did literally nothing wrong, and it's just the consequences of other people that dragged them down with them.
Yeah.
Basically, Viola saying, "Fuck this shit. I'm staying here."
Which is kind of very relevant to right now, like where you might be doing nothing wrong and you could still, I don't know, get sick because of someone else.
Yeah.
Don't remind me.
The plague.
The plague.
And it's only getting worse.
My note for the end of the episode is I think Hannah is gonna kick the shit out of Viola, and I'm very sad that didn't happen.
He tried to.
I mean, I don't.
Oh, she tried.
I don't think it would have worked thematically with the show, but I would have loved to see like Hannah actually bust out like a can of whoop ass on Viola. That'd be great.
Yeah, but I think
that
was everything with episode 8.
Yeah, it was few plot points condensed or stretched out into 50 minutes. I mean, I'm not complaining necessarily, but you know. Episode, go ahead.
But now we know who that little gravestone belonged to because we were all speculating that.
Oh, yeah.
It was Viola. Danny got Viola's rubbing, right? Yeah, that was it. I actually scrolled back in my notes. It's like, aha!
Yes, but now on to episode 9. Back to the action.
To the action. Hannah's story is fucking heartbreaking.
Why?
Because it's fucking sad.
I mean, that's
why.
I mean, yes, it's sad, but that's not the take I got from the beginning of the episode. Like, yeah, it's sad, but like,
no, the stuff that happens after with other characters is heartbreaking.
Oh yeah, both of it's heartbreaking. But I felt for Hannah, just like she didn't get to tell him. That's very sad.
That was like a tear. That's
but
what
not
I
like
got from that.
yeah, like that was like not what I got from that entire.
What the fuck
anyways.
did you get from it then?
No, I mean like I got that sadness from earlier, but like
Yeah.
I have no idea the conversation. Okay.
anyways.
Anyway, so Hannah tries to stop Viola and
My
just
my overly optimistic note in all caps is
Stop
Hannah go fuck shit up.
interrupting.
Let's
Oh my
do
God.
this. What?
Anyway,
What?
Monica, what?
Oh, I was just gonna say Hannah tried to stop her, and then nope.
No.
No, right there.
Yeah. And then just a series of resolutions, one after another, in the first half of this episode, which made just fucking sprinted towards it, which I liked, to be honest. I thought it was. At first, I was like, there's a lot of time left in this episode, but it did keep the pace up pretty strongly, even after everything got resolved. So
yeah, Nat said before the beginning of the episode, I'm like, he's like, if Henry comes and fucking hits the ghost with his car, I will lose my mind. and when we cap the shot of Henry driving, he's like, no.
that part, I was like, oh, Henry's gonna come in and save the.
Yeah, then crush.
Immediately ganked.
Like, wow, that took a turn.
He said, my note is, wow, he died fucking immediately.
To be fair, she did lift his whole ass off the ground.
That is true.
That's true.
Okay, I got some fan speculation for you guys. Viola versus a car. Who wins?
Viola?
I think Viola wins. It's very much a Jason coming out of Crystal Lake kind of thing.
Do you think the car would just crumple around her because fuck you?
No, it would just go through her.
Yeah, it would just go through her.
Oh yeah, it would just go through her. Probably.
Well,
She's a fucking ghost. Yeah.
I think it would go through. The car would go through her, but then she would grab the person in the car
and then just pull him through. Yeah.
Like Mark with Omni, or like Omni-Man and Mark.
Rip.
Oh, throwback.
Wow.
So we get to the ghost is following the path, and she gets to the bedroom where she normally goes, and Flora decides, she's like, I'll use myself as bait.
Because Flora is adorable.
Oh, yeah.
And
Flora also knows the routine.
Yeah, this is true, and Ghost Boy probably has Ghost Boy probably has told her quite a bit.
I don't think Ghost Boy can talk.
With her. Well, not talk, but communicated with her a bit, because she knows the ghost at the very least. He might have been able to show with the dolls.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
True, or right. I think she might have also picked up on it.
But anyway, Flora's like, use me as bait. And Danny gets dropped, and she's like, my baby!
Mine. This child is mine now. I'm taking it back with me to my watery grave.
No, they're like, baby! This my baby! You come home with me, baby. And
home is in the lake.
Home is lake. There's lots of seaweed for you.
And
then Henry comes back, gets immediately KO'd.
His thought is, what the absolute fuck is going on here?
Yep. Yeah, and then Danny pretty much saves Flora by letting Viola pretty much possess her forever.
Which, that's, side note, one of the things I absolutely loved about this final episode is they very easily could have cut it at showing the switch of the eye and just leaving it there. They could have left it there, gone to a season 2, whatnot, but no, I love the fact that they showed the consequences of that.
Oh yeah.
I love that she got heterochromia.
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
You all know I'm a sucker.
I did have a note for Rebecca is following Viola, and basically offers like, hey, I'll take the dying for you, hon. You know, like, and it has the intention of shoving Flora back in wherever she goes in her brain. I was like, oh, that's sweet.
She did tuck her away.
And then Danny's like, not today.
Not today.
Or not today.
What do we say to the many-faced
God
god?
of death.
Not today.
Fuck this shit.
No,
God
we
of
say
death,
the
many-faced
It's you,
god.
it's me, it's us. That's what we say to the god of death.
She
Isn't
was
also the
like,
many-faced god?
she went all Scorpion on her ass. Get over here.
But
Yeah,
Henry,
just a really strong sprint towards the epilogue with that one. Anyone have any other notes before we jump into that epilogue?
No.
Henry gets resuscitated, and then Owen realizes Hannah's dead, and that makes me sad.
My heart.
Mm-hmm.
And all the other ghosts on Bly Manor just
They
go
move on
to their eternal whatever it is.
Yes.
Owen had the real shit end of the deal. He had to go to 2 funerals for people he loved
Yeah.
in the span of like
like
a week.
Not even. I think it was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're totally right.
Yep.
So then the epilogue.
Yes.
Which was
Oh,
really
and that
cool.
explains why. Sorry, why? Because remember Hannah, like Danny finds Hannah in the church, and it's like, why didn't you go to the funeral? It's because she couldn't.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Hannah physically couldn't go to the funeral.
That is true.
I just put that together. Sorry.
I totally forgot about that.
It's all good. So, Jamie and Danny decide to live happily ever after and open in America. Open the garden shop and be lesbians together.
I did have to look up just to make sure. Vermont specifically did not actually have same-sex marriage until 2009, so that tracks with the dialogue. I thought like Vermont was like one of the early ones, but I thought they were still.
They were also in the 80s.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. But
transitioning to the 90s.
Yeah.
The show ends in the 90s. Yeah.
Those kids were 90.
Danny with the big dick energy.
Technically, Vermont instituted civil unions in 2000, so it ends in like around 2000.
That's right, because
finally our union is civil.
Yep.
I did find it interesting that Danny can actually leave Bly. I don't.
Well, I think it's because that's the whole point of the acceptance.
Yeah.
Is
the
I got you.
is over. Yeah.
Well, it's the acceptance, and also keep in mind that it turns out it wasn't Bly that was keeping people there. It was Viola. And because Viola is in Danny, the curse, theoretically, if the curse was still there, it would move with Danny.
Right, that makes sense.
So you could also theorize that as well, that it doesn't matter, it just wherever Viola is where the ghost trap is.
Also, Jamie specifically references White Christmas in her desire to go to Vermont, and I just wanted to note that is Vanessa's favorite Christmas movie. So yeah.
That's a good movie.
Does anyone else remember? I recall episode 1, when Owen is driving Danny to the manor, and he calls Bly a gravity well.
Oh yeah.
Fly trap.
Fly trap. He specifically says gravity well.
Fly trap.
Someone specifically says gravity well, and that is like such foreshadowing. Like looking back on it, I was like, oh, they just told you like
Yep.
They just revealed a huge plot point in episode 1.
Clever
writers, clever.
They also side tangent of Jamie and Danny having like one of the most healthy relationships I've ever seen on any media ever.
Mm-hmm.
I think my note after Jamie gives her the moonflower is like, this is also sickeningly sweet. It has to go wrong, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, I mean, you know from the very minute they leave Bly that it's gonna go wrong.
100%.
Well, yeah, this is like I like for this epilogue that they do go full on like horror metaphor stuff where like the possession of Danny is like it's living with someone who is on borrowed time.
Yeah.
And so it explores the full range of emotions that go with that, and I think that it did that very well.
Yeah, and like I said, the healthiness of Jamie just being like, I will support you no matter what. And
like until the end.
Yeah. Even though she... Oh, sorry.
No, just saying when she comes back to the flower shop that one time and she's like, "We got a real problem. I'm really in love with you."
Yeah,
And I'm just like, oh.
That was funny.
I loved it where Danny proposes with a fucking plant that she rescued. Just like mwah,
Big dick energy.
fucking perfect.
Yeah.
Hold on, 1 second.
Hold on, we going offline?
Nope,
Oh.
hold on.
Hold on.
Oh
Hold
God.
on.
Everything's all fucked.
Should we vamp or do you want to just go offline?
We can continue.
Till
Nope,
we get it fixed?
nope,
We've
nope,
been on this for
nope.
almost an hour, so
Nope.
we should probably.
Well, we're so close to the end.
We're almost close. We're almost done.
Yeah.
But
The fuck is that
Wait.
conspiracy thing?
Jamie, eventually, the possession is too much, and Danny's like, I gotta go. And even though Jamie knows it's time, she desperately wants to have her Lady of the Lake take her.
Yeah, and I like that nothing that the lady did to Danny was the breaking point. It was when it was about to take Jamie from her where she was like, okay, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was cute.
Oh,
Oh,
I liked one of the lines where like even if you can't feel anything or something like that, I'll feel it for the both of us. It's just like, God, this is so bittersweet. I strive to write angst this good.
I'll be honest, I saw that line coming. It was still good, but
It's a great line.
Yeah.
I think one of the last things is the big twist at the end is that
the narrator makes sense.
Well, yes, the narrator makes sense. We kind of predicted that the narrator was gonna be.
Nice job, Nat.
No,
yeah.
we didn't actually, because
we were talking about it last. We were talking about it last media club.
We were
Yeah,
actually because the narrator has an
all.
accent.
Yeah, Nat was saying that, and he's like, I was right. I'm like, yes, you were, darling.
Oh,
Good job.
I don't remember that at all.
Nope. Yep. We definitely talked about it last episode. Yes,
Oh.
Jamie's the narrator. But what I thought was the biggest twist was that the wedding that they were at was Flora's wedding.
I actually called that before the last name drop. I was just like, oh shit, it's Flora's wedding.
I don't. She says her middle name.
Middle name. Sorry, you're right. Middle name, not last name.
It's a different person because she doesn't have an accent at all.
Do you not remember the scene at Owens when he said that they don't remember anything at Bly Manor?
Yeah, but the
Also-
character doesn't have an accent.
But
That
you could
means
also
nothing.
lose and gain accents, though.
Correct. I was going to say it's been like what,
So why would she change
20-ish
her name?
years? It's
Hmm?
been
Why would she
15
change her name though?
To forget?
She didn't.
Or
Well,
maybe
the-
it was Henry?
The way I understood it was that, or the way I chose to interpret it was that the Jamie was just changing around some names.
Yeah.
And not just telling it like verbatim, like the like she sometimes
She never refers
she
to
never
Danny by
she
Danny.
never
She
refers
always
to
calls
Danny
her
by
the
Nanny.
au
She
pair.
calls her the au pair. Yes.
And she always calls Owen the
the chef, the
cook.
housekeeper. She never refers to them by name.
Okay. Yeah. So
She does call the children. She does use
forgot
the
at the
children's
very
names, though,
end,
right?
like Jamie's like recreation of them shows her as Flora. I forgot about that. Thank you.
Also,
Chad.
I would like to say, what the fuck happened to Owen in 15 years? That man needs his mustache back.
Also,
Yeah,
the
they
one
should make a
thing
bad
that really
actor
threw
for
me
that.
is that the actor that they choose to play older Owen is clearly younger than Raul Cooley, or
Really?
looks on age with him. Like they're like they needed to give that man a little more grace.
They
But
nerfed him.
also
They had to nerf him. Like you can't just doll up Raul Cooley in old man makeup. He's still too hot.
they also show at the wedding kind of the flashes of here's these characters and here's Flora and Henry. Here's these characters and here's Owen and Miles. So
I do think it's
very
kind of
clearly
weird.
those characters.
I do think it's I don't think it's kind of weird that they chose different actors, but I also I kind of it makes sense because they don't want to give the plot away in the first fucking episode.
Well, it's
also
also
that poor girl's marrying Mark. What a fate.
Oh fuck, that's Greg Sestero. I forgot.
the other thing is that it's also a story that someone's telling. Like, it could be altered, or it's just our perception of what they look like, or we're looking at it through Flora's perception of what everyone looked like. For all we know, there were no accents at all.
Laura?
like the story's being told to Flora and her soon-to-be husband, pretty much. Like
So
that because everything is up to interpretation. I don't know. It's just all open-ended.
was the person they got to play older Owen there for the story time
Yes.
sequence?
Mm-hmm.
So he's just sitting there going,
that part is kind of weird. Yeah.
Probably he was like,
And I think
on one hand he probably was like, oh girl, what the hell are you doing? But on the other hand, he's like, I'd like to hear about Hannah again.
Wasn't he the one who said it's getting late at the end of the story too?
yes, and also he's also the one that as he left, he put his hand on her shoulder.
Yeah.
I think he's the one that kind of gives her like a loving embrace as he walks away. So I don't know if that's intentional
he was just
or
there through the whole story going, all right then.
this is how we're gonna do it.
She made me look really good.
She played by Raul Cooley.
So yeah, story ends nicely with with Jamie sitting in a chair with her hotel room open, and it pans out, and you see Danny's hand on Jamie's shoulder, and it's like it's
I'm
all
not really
cute and
sure.
stuff.
How do y'all interpret that?
It's
Guardian Angel.
it's just yeah,
Guardian
Guardian
Ghost.
Angel, or just Danny trying to be with her.
Yeah, Danny wants to be with her.
Well, isn't she at the bottom of a fucking lake right now?
I would imagine she's dead.
Her spirit
Is also at the
Ghosts
bottom of a lake,
have
as far as we
no
know.
rules.
Well, no, the curse is broken, so assumably
curse-
all the souls are gone.
Well, yeah, but who's at the bottom of the lake then?
Well,
It's-
Danny's body.
physically at the
Right,
bottom
right.
of the lake.
But
Actually, by then the body's probably deteriorated.
you'd think. But I mean,
Or-
what's her faces wasn't.
The point, but the
Yeah, it
point
was.
being is that, as we stated earlier, the curse
Violet's?
is broken. So
Violet
I
was
don't
long
think-
gone.
it's very clearly Danny's sweater. So
Yeah,
no,
it's
I'm
a
not
different
saying
color
it's not
sweater.
Danny. I'm just more confused as that like the way I heard is that they're basically Viola's and Danny's like souls or essences kind of just like got like smushed together, and they kind of walk the grounds as one person. But because it's Viola and also Danny, they're relatively harmless. They're harmless now and don't shit out of anyone.
True, and in that same vein, though, the only reason why ghosts couldn't leave is because it was because of Viola's sheer willpower to refuse to leave Bly. So she kind of kept all the ghosts there.
Oh,
so
so
theoretically,
Danny's
Danny
just-
nullifies that.
Yeah.
So Danny's just like, hey Viola, we're going on fucking vacation.
pretty much, hey, my girlfriend's sad. We're gonna go.
Wife.
Or, I'm sorry, my wife's sad. We're gonna go tell her it's okay, and there's nothing you can fucking do about it.
One last note that I have, or two last notes really was, is when Flora is talking with Jamie, and she says, "How am I supposed to live a life he's not in?" And I'm just like, as someone who's getting married like next year, I'm just like, oh, I don't need this existential crisis right now. And
Yeah, I felt that as well on a different level.
yeah, and that ending really got me. I was crying. I'm not afraid to admit it.
It was very emotional. I didn't get to anything cry-worthy, but I did find it very emotional and emotionally satisfying at the end. Yes.
Yeah,
Nice.
it definitely I wasn't in tears, but it definitely deeply affected me. For sure.
Nice.
Just to kind of, as one of the final things, definitely go watch the video I just dropped in chat, because it is very wild how much is happening in the background. And one thing
Twitter chat.
yeah, and one thing in the particular that I wanted to call out in the which I found the most interesting, is in the video. They point out one particular ghost. There's in one of the flashbacks, Henry talks to where Flora's telling Charlotte and Henry about the little boy she met, and Henry's like, "Oh, I had a friend like yours. He was a soldier." And apparently in one of the scenes, there's a couple of different scenes that you can see the soldier ghost.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right.
So he is a entity that lives in the manor, likely a poor soul resting there from one of the wars, trapped in Viola's path.
So yeah, that's
So yeah,
pretty much
like-
the end of Bly Manor.
Like we do
Yeah.
at the end of every media club, I guess, is we're gonna give a thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs middle. Thumbs up is I will watch more stuff like this. Thumbs middle is I will watch stuff like this if other people want to. Thumbs down is I do not want to watch stuff like this anymore. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Best
Cool.
best thing we've watched for Media Club so far. If I
I'm
may be
inclined
so
to agree.
bold.
I'm inclined to agree.
Yeah, I think I would go with that. Yeah.
Wow. Good thing that there's a brand new show by the same creator coming out in like 10 days.
Raul Cooley's in it?
Rahul Cooley
No.
is in it.
Or is he in it?
He's in
Yeah.
it. Midnight Mass.
Yeah. More so it's from the same director /
Yeah.
Which
kind
he
of
keeps
like-
a lot of the same actors a lot of the times. Midnight
So-
Mass comes out on September 24th, so it would I'm gonna put it in the media club poll for next time because it is technically eligible because like it'll be out by the time that our next media club starts.
Is it Netflix?
Not if I get
Yes.
an anime and you son of a bitch.
We'll still
I'll
vote
watch
on
an
everything. We'll still vote on everything. But it's gonna be an automatic one in the poll just because it's the sequel to what we're watching technically.
Spiritual sequel.
I'm gonna call it the sequel, just in the same sense that Blind Manor is the sequel to Hill House.
Honestly, I liked this one because it's not a stereotypical horror story. It's less focuses on the horror and more on the characters involved.
Yeah,
in the horror.
which is kind of the mechanics of Gothic horror.
Okay.
Okay, I've had to
Um,
pee for like
the-
the past half hour.
Okay.
The description of Midnight Mass is the arrival of a charismatic priest brings miracles, mysteries, and renewed religion fever or fervor to a dying
I'm gonna go get some
town.
water too.
Oh fuck.
Okay. So what I was gonna say next is we're just gonna go right into I'm gonna skip some of these topics because we're so long, and we're gonna do all the long-winded ones. Like we're gonna go through the weekly ones.
I want everyone here for my movie.
Yeah. We'll wait.
intro
Don't worry.
Here.
Does
I'm
that
getting some
mean-
water. It takes 30 seconds. Chill.
Does it?
No.
Does that mean
Do you have any pictures this week, Ryan?
I do not?
Good. Do you want to start Sports Corner?
Yeah, I guess so.
Sports corner.
Sports Corner. Da 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 ba ba ba.
So usually I have a funny bit with the Washington football team, but or a funny lead-in. Not this time. But they have decided a name out of their three finalists. And while we don't know what it exactly is, or any of the three finalists, we do know that they are not keeping it the Washington football team.
Good.
Thank God.
Unfortunate.
I don't
According-
care.
According to a poll, most NFL fans that regularly attend games want stadium vaccine mandates.
Good.
Good.
Maya Chaka became the first black woman to officiate an NFL game on Sunday between the New York Jets and Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
New York Giants quarterback Daniel Jones, in only his third year in the league, has already hit 30 career fumbles and is the second quarterback in NFL history to achieve such a feat by game 28 of one's career, since fumbles began being tracked as a statistic in 1994.
That is more than one fumble per game.
Fucking F.
He led the league in fumbles in both 2019 and 2020.
Oh my god.
Supposedly, the Las Vegas Raiders opted to throw a touchdown to win last night's Monday Night Football matchup against the Baltimore Ravens because no one on the sideline could find their kicker to kick a field goal instead of throwing for a touchdown.
That's amazing.
They still won, so... the Buffalo Bills and Buffalo Sabres, who are owned by the same people, will require fans to be fully vaccinated in order to come to games. No test option.
Good.
You have to have at least one of the shots of the vaccine.
Fuck yeah.
Perfect.
You're not allowed to enter. Now, if they can tell that to some of the Buffalo Bills players, University of Notre Dame quarterback Jack Cohen dislocated his finger on one play, popped it back into place in between, and then proceeds to throw the game-winning touchdown to prevent the upset from unranked University of Toledo.
Bruh.
Fuck.
Football guy. The University of New Mexico and New Mexico State University football game on Saturday included the very first radio broadcast of a game solely in the Navajo language.
Dope.
Right on.
The news article I got this from didn't have any sound clips from the game, sadly, but you never know if the Japanese are still trying to crack that code. So I can understand in that regard. Bet you weren't expecting a fucking World War II reference.
No, I was not. I was not. That's a deep cut.
So I think it was like Saturday or Sunday. I watched the Netflix special Untold Crimes and Penalties, which is basically the real life Tony Soprano buying a hockey team for his 17-year-old son. And it goes just as you'd expect.
Yeah,
Like behind the scenes part, not the hockey part. The hockey team was actually kind of good despite being full of goons.
A mob guy fills his team full of goons. That's 0% surprising.
And with it being a hockey special, like, oh, so you have the jersey yet? No, I don't, because I can't fucking find anything that's less than $2,000.
Oof.
Just a brief note on that. I looked up, the guy was a member of the Genovese family, which is one of the 5 families of New York. So that's deep mob stuff.
A Florida State University football player proposed to his girlfriend after Florida State's game versus Jacksonville State on Saturday. A photo taken of them shows Jacksonville State celebrating their upset win over Florida State on the field in the background. Cleveland Cavaliers player Ricky Rubio took a look at the team's roster and said, "Dang, I'm playing with some guys born in the 2000s."
Mood.
The NBA G League, which is basically the minor league for the NBA, will have its first Latin American team this coming season with the Mexico City Capitanes. However, due to COVID restrictions, they will be playing games in the United States.
Huh?
I don't think everything that I wrote is in here, so I'm just double checking. So the MLB has the Field of Dreams game that we've talked about before. Well,
Right.
the NBA is looking into something similar. There really isn't much to go on with that one. Just
Yeah, I don't know where they would go with that.
Yeah, I was gonna say Space Jam.
Space Jam.
like the original Space Jam, not
Or-
that one.
I was thinking like Mike or something.
That was a movie, wasn't it?
Airbud.
Airbud?
Fucking dog.
So
I'm
There's
done.
no rules to say a dog can't play basketball. God damn it!
So, a golden retriever versus Lil Bow Wow.
Oh, what about Michael J. Fox, the werewolf one?
Oh yeah, American Werewolf.
American Werewolf.
I didn't.
They play
No, that was a
basketball in
thing.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember that one.
Hold on. I think was that what it's called?
Or like Teenage Werewolf or something.
I'm sure we could look it
Werewolf
up.
movie. Teen Wolf.
That was it. Isn't that a TV show?
I think
It
so.
is.
Any hoozles? Oh, is that it?
Yeah, I'm done.
Oh, okay.
There's a picture of Michael J. Fox as a werewolf in the Twitter chat.
Sports corner. No.
All right.
Oh Jesus.
I'm
Christ. Okay.
I'm gonna pull an
I-
audible. I have to pee. Mike.
Oh, you're gonna leave during my segment. Okay.
It's anime
bye.
time.
All right. Put up the graphic at least.
What?
Put up the graphic at least.
It's up.
Okay. I'm like, my thing's always 15 seconds behind, so. All right. Time for another round of Anime Box. So, in some industry news, Naoko Yamada has left Kyoto Animation. Now, Yamada is most known for her directorial work on K-On!, Sound Euphonium, A Silent Voice, and Tomoko Market. The reason that we know she left KyoAni is because it was recently announced that she was working on the story at another studio. And basically the way KyoAni works is you only work on KyoAni projects if you work for KyoAni. So the fact that she is working with a different studio is basically an announcement that she has left. She has not made a statement on why she left, so that's purely speculation that I will not touch on. However, I will note that this anime that she is now working on is titled Heike Story, which, from what I've heard, is the mythological Japanese equivalent of the King Arthur legend. So, very important story in terms of the traditional Japanese storytelling.
In this one, is King Arthur a woman?
No, we did that already. Speaking of prominent directors, Yoshiyuki Tomino has announced that he will retire in 3 years. You probably haven't heard his name much, but he is the director of the original director of Mobile Suit Gundam, way back from 1979.
How the fuck old is this guy?
He's, I believe, in his 80s.
Retire, motherfucker.
Yes, he's announced that he has about 3 years left in him, and he's been consistently working on stuff. Like he did.
What anime?
The director of Gundam. He announced
Okay,
that he's retiring in 3 years. Like I think in 2013 was Gundam Reconquista G. So he's doing like movie remakes of that right now. So he's been consistently working in anime since the late 70s. So he is a very interesting director. So it'll be interesting to see what his last years have in store. In Pokemon news, we have the Pokemon anime continues to pop off in several different directions at once. Not the main TV anime. Instead, we have a bunch of different shorts coming out. The most, I believe it was a couple days ago, we got the first episode of Pokemon Evolutions, which is basically, if you remember Pokemon Generations from 2016, it's basically them doing that again, where they take a bunch of stories from the different generations and tell them with animation. Personally, I think the animation's a bit stiff, but it is extremely detailed and very flashy, so it is very pleasant to watch. The first episode is definitely a spoiler for Sword and Shield, though, so be warned about that. And also, there is a branch off of these shorts called Poke-Tunes, which is basically just, they air on the Pokemon TV Kids channel on YouTube, but they're like full-fledged anime shorts with some of like the best animation that the Pokemon anime has seen ever. The most recent one that came out was like kind of like a school ghost story about a girl turning into a Gengar. Personally, it's very good. It has like over 1 million views on YouTube already.
That sounds kind of dark.
Yeah. Well, no, it's like a fun like ghost story for kids and stuff. And you can turn on like English captions on YouTube and just watch it subtitled.
If you turn into a Gengar, does that mean you're fucking dead?
Yeah.
Watch the episode.
Okay.
But my personal favorite from this series was one called Yume no Tsubomi, which is basically the very prototypical Pokemon story condensed into 15 minutes with incredible animation. I'll post it in the chat later, but fucking phenomenal stuff. All right. The final chapter of Berserk was released in the magazine Young Animal earlier this week. The author, Kentaro Miura, passed away earlier in July, and so his assistants managed to put together this last chapter that he was working on before his death. It has a lot of stuff in it, and it ends on a note that is extremely revelatory, but because nothing else is going to come out after this, it's hard to say whether this is makes it good or bad. I had a fun time reading it before the podcast. It was very berserk in not in its violence, but in its emotion. A lot of the later chapters of Berserk have really honed in on the core of the characters in it, and that's always what's made Berserk so interesting. And also the editors at the magazine posted like a final farewell to fans and stuff that was very emotional to read. So Berserk is officially over. In industry news, Netflix has announced that both a new anime titled Blue Period, which is an adaptation of a very popular seinen manga, as well as JoJo Part 6, will be airing weekly on their streaming service.
Interesting. That's a change.
Which means that the Netflix jail might finally be dismantled. If you don't know what that is, basically Netflix does not function like other anime streaming sites with anime, whereas places like Crunchyroll and Funimation post stuff week to week as it's coming out. Netflix waits until it's all finished, and then you have to wait another 2 months for it to all be ready to watch. So basically, it kills seasonals. But this might change with these new anime, although the Komi-san anime is also going to be on Netflix, and they have announced that that one is going to be a batch drop, so they're picking and choosing, I guess.
That's the mute girl, right?
Yes.
She's not mute,
not mute, just really quiet.
She's literally drawn without a mouth.
She speaks.
Because she's perfect.
There are some implications behind that.
I didn't mean it
Jesus
like that.
fucking Christ. That came out very, very badly.
And finally...
I did not mean it to come out like that.
And finally, High Dive has announced that their partnership with Verve will be ending at the end of September.
I saw that. What the fuck is High Dive?
High Dive is another anime streaming service mostly associated with Sentai Filmworks properties, so stuff like Food Wars and Shinibyo and anything licensed by Sentai Filmworks. So that sort of implies that Verve is still going to exist in a post-Sony buyout. So I'm not sure how exactly that's going to function, especially since Rooster Teeth hasn't said anything about Verve, so apparently they're just staying with them.
Let's hope so.
I have a feeling it's a parent company thing for RT.
Yes, well, it's because... Crunchyroll and stuff was... Well...
Anyways.
Yeah, it's complicated, but the future of Verve will be interesting. But in the meantime, High Dive is only $5.99 a month, or $4.99 a month actually.
Yeah,
so I will be getting that in the future to stream all of their exclusives. And that's all I have for Anime Box.
Nice. Monica.
All right.
Did you watch a movie?
We did watch a movie. So we fully had the intention because the 20th anniversary of 9/11 happened on Saturday. We fully had the intention of watching United 93 in honor of 9/11, since the movie surrounds the plane that was supposed to crash into the White House, but the passengers essentially took it over and crashed it into a field. But we didn't have the fucking time to watch that. So we decided the best way to honor the victims of 9/11 was to watch Samurai Cop.
Sorry, I need a minute.
Wait, can I see that cover again? Hold on.
That's the podcast, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.
How does this have a Blu-ray
And
release?
we lost Monica.
How does this have a Blu-ray?
So this has a Blu-ray release. So Samurai Cop is one of, much like The Room and Troll 2, is one of the notoriously... Oh, Steve, you're gonna have a great time.
Oh, I guarantee you this is so fucking stupid.
I just saw the chat. No, I'm gone again. But I'm purposely holding it this way because there are badly censored naked ladies on the front, so I'm just...
What?
I
Because
can't give Danny a treat right now. She's cuddling
Where can I
because
find this? Please tell me it streams.
it doesn't look like it streams,
No,
but
I will buy it.
You can watch it free with ads on Amazon. Oh, wait, no,
100%.
nope, that's the riff track. Never mind.
Ah, never mind then.
But anyway, the reason I grabbed the Blu-ray disc is because since this movie is a horrific mess, just to start with, one of the first things on the back of the box is it gives the dictionary a dictionary definition of katana, which it says katana, noun, Japanese sword. Mike, you should also watch
The
this.
dictionary defines a katana as.
So in order to explain what the fuck this is about, I just need to read. I'll only read a couple of.
One quick clarification: is this American made or is this Japanese made?
American made. Essentially,
I'm
this
American.
is the same. It is directed, I think, by Amir Shervan, who is another one of like, I want to make big American movie. And yeah. So anyway, a deadly code of silence sweeps through Los Angeles as gang violence erupts, taking no prisoners and leaving no witnesses alive. The police find themselves outgunned and outsworted by Fujiyama's infamous katana gang. That's why the definition's on there. Only one man has the training, expertise, and swordsmanship needed to break the code. His name is Joe Marshall. Matt Hannon. They call him Samurai. He speaks fluent Japanese. He was trained by the masters in Japan. We don't see any of the fluent Japanese in the movie, by the way. Joe must strike a balance between his insatiable appetite for women and his quest to stop the gang violence.
Oh my
Endless
god!
obstacles abound. A horny nurse, a sex-crazy policewoman, legendary henchmen Robert Zadar and Gerald Okamura, and countless petty thugs. Hilarity ensues, but not how you might expect. In this remastered so bad it's good, epic cult classic.
Wait, you can't call yourself out on the back of your own box.
This is the Blu-ray release. They knew. But anyway, I just want everyone to take a moment to Google Robert Zadar. The last name is Z''DAR.
Yeah, what's up
I'm
with
on
his
I just want everyone to take a moment and do that really fast.
Oh!
ZEDAR?
No, Z''DAR.
Oh, apostrophe. Fancy.
I just want everyone to just get a look at this
Oh
man.
my Jesus fucking Christ. What the hell happened to that man's chin?
He is the Crimson Chin. But anyway.
No. He is not the Crimson Chin. That is. Oh my god. What is.
God.
Oh god. Some of the more recent. Man. Okay.
He's got a
photoshopped.
He's got a disease or something.
No,
he's
that's
dead.
That's plastic.
Yeah, he's got a
surgery, my
disease,
dude.
all right. He got the dead.
That is
He died in
100%.
2015.
That is 100% plastic surgery. I guarantee it.
But even in like some older movies of his, like this one, he looks a little more. It's a little more hidden because he has a beard. But there was another movie he was in that Red Letter Media reviewed where it's just like, what is up with that man's chin? And it was from like the mid '90s.
There's actually one picture I see even where he doesn't look half bad. He's got a prominent chin, but it doesn't look.
He had cherubism,
Okay.
a rare genetic disorder.
Oh, okay.
I
But-
was right.
But anyway, this movie is just quite. It's one of those things where it's like, how does this exist? It borders on the level of porn sometimes with just the way it sets up.
Now you sold me.
What's the movie called? What? I'm sorry. What's it called again?
Samurai.
Cop.
I would just like to point out the picture that I just sent in Twitter chat is the picture that USA Today used to announce his death.
Oh
Did you know that this is the second Samurai Cop? It looks like.
That's
No, there was multiple movies he made. Oh my god.
It looks like a doll.
There was also Hollywood Cop as well, which was made by the same director. But there are so many things wrong with this movie on such a level that it's just an amazement to watch. There's so much just from the lighting aspects. Like, you could just make a drinking game alone with the amount of times the lighting color change happens between cuts. You would be dead by the end of this movie of how often
Honest-
that happens.
So on a scale of The Room to any movie by Neil Breen, where does this fall?
Who?
Wait, you don't know
No,
about Neil
I know
Breen.
who Neil Breen is. I'm just trying to think of where it falls on the scale.
I know you do. Mike doesn't though.
Oh Lord. Wait, what have you seen by Neil Breen?
I haven't seen anything but the cinema.
Or Sweet Summer Child.
The Cinema Snob reviewed the one where there's two of him. I don't remember what it's called. They were twins. They were like twin brothers, and I'm just watching their view, just going,
Is it Twisted Pair?
Yes, Twisted Pair. I can't.
Yeah, they got there, dear. Thank you. Matt just shouted Twisted Pair from the other room. But yeah, and the reason that I say is just like the way that they set up for the sex scene sometimes just borders on porn. There is a very famous scene from there with the aforementioned horny nurse and just the way that scene plays out between the awkward dialogue and our main hero here, as shown by the cover art, has very luxurious hair. There's a trivia point that he was told that production had wrapped. He had gotten a haircut. The director was like, no, I still have half the movie to shoot. And they had to get him a wig. But the only wig they could find was a woman's wig that looked nothing like his hair. And there are some shots where I'm just like, oh, his hair looks a little weird in that. And I'm like, oh, that's why.
Fire.
I would just like to point out. I would like to point out the Blu-ray on Amazon. The frequently bought together with includes The Room. So
Yes.
Yeah, so it is. If again, I was looking. I don't think it's streaming anywhere. But if you guys ever want to all watch it together, we do have the Blu-ray here, and it is just something you all need to experience for yourselves. It is just incredible. The level of just trying to translate what this man thinks an American action hero should be like.
it's on Tubi.
Oh yeah, it is on Tubi.
I need to buy this for myself.
Do it.
You
I'm
can
still-
watch
buy
it.
that.
You can
100%
watch
it with
I'll buy
ads
that.
on Tubi.
Yeah, and the probably the most interesting thing to note about it is called Samurai Cop. But unlike a lot of the like sort of kung fu action movies of the 80s era, it actually has very little to do with kind of the samurai Japanese aspect of it. It's a lot of guns and a lot of the same 4 prop guns having to be swapped around between different actors.
So just like not Hotline Miami Connection. There's a shocking there's less guns and more swords in that one.
Yeah, Miami Connection is beautiful though.
It might have been because I was drunk, but I was having like zero luck keeping the plot straight on that movie.
I mean, no, that wasn't because you were drunk. It's just that movie's just a mess, but the soundtrack slaps so hard it has no right to.
So hard. Oh, it's so good.
But yeah,
soundtracks are so good sometimes, most of the time.
I'm
but yes.
I'm still on Robert Zadar's Wikipedia page. I'm looking at his filmography. In one role, he's named Ass Face, and then a posthumous posthumous release, he's nicknamed The Jaw. Like really,
The Jaw.
Well, that's just typecasting.
Yeah.
But and because they have a lot of like, if you really think about like sort of the kind of the stereotypes of an 80s action movie at the time, like there are a lot of these things there, but it's just weirdly translated. Like in terms of the kind of the black sidekick character is prevalent in here, and there's also a couple of weird, uncomfortable racist jokes, but it's 90s.
What? Oh, I was gonna ask you what
91 was the year it came out.
Yeah, those jokes probably aren't great.
Yeah, but then I don't want to spoil it because it's just so great to see in context, but just his reactions during the horny nurse scene is
Hello, nurse.
Yeah,
I'm-
it's just,
Second time I've heard that reference today.
This sounds so fucking dumb.
it is this needs to jump to the top of your list because
Oh, it's on the list, but
it needs to jump to your list after you watch Deadly Prey. But
my brother edited it as well. Let's see what he had.
But the reason that I was laughing before we started is because I don't know if we have time to talk about the one thing Steve was going to mention, but it was kind of like our movies flip. Where I talked about the bad schlocky movie.
And I just honestly all I gotta say about it is I watched Crazy Rich Asians. It was colorful, well shot, acting was good. I had a good time.
Yeah, so it was
Okay.
just like for some weird shift in the universe we flipped because there was just too much going on. But yes, I can't think of a better way to honor the victims of 9/11 than watching this travesty.
So I can't even bring myself to salute to that.
I can.
There you go.
I'll save my cloud gaming talk till next week.
I if it's all the same view, I'd
Just go for it. Go
yeah.
for it.
So this past weekend, Vanessa's aunt and uncle from California were in town, and they had never been to Illinois before. So we did basically all the Chicago things in 3 days. As much Chicago as we could fit in 3 days. So the San Francisco Giants were in town playing the Cubs, so we hit up a Cubs game on Friday. Nice hat. They won that game it was really boring for the first like 5 innings, and then SF just started fucking killing it, just like hitting stuff out of the park. It was fucking great. And they killed, and the next day they like slaughtered the Cubs like 15-3 or something like that. Like
Stop! They're already dead.
Also, I think what's his name?
Chris Bryant.
Chris Bryant was recently traded from the Cubs to SF. And they had like a whole homecoming thing, like a nice tribute video. They played his at-bat music when he came out to bat, like for the other team. I was like, oh, that's super sweet. I have no idea what this is, who this guy is, barely, but I'm touched.
Allegedly, I think him and his wife also had given cookies to the workers. So it's like, thanks for taking good care of us, guys.
Oh,
on the day that you went.
Oh, it's so nice.
That's cute.
And like all the Cubs fans we met were super nice. We were sitting next to a Cubs fan who was just like, who, you know, I mentioned it's like, oh, we're here with my aunt and uncle. I'm actually a Sox fan, but I was all I was wearing a Giants t-shirt, so like, but
Correct attire.
Exactly. That was a great time, and then we went back, and of course we had Portillo's for the ultimate Chicago experience. Vanessa's uncle did not like the Chicago dog, but he doesn't really like he's not a big fan of tomatoes, so that tracks, I suppose. The next day we went into the city proper and did like an architecture tour. And so that was kind of cool. I haven't been on an architecture tour in years. What?
Billy Goat.
Billy Goat?
The Billy Goat Tavern.
It was a river architecture tour, so we didn't get to see
I've
Billy
been
Goat
on that
Tavern.
tour.
Cool.
It was a million. It was probably a literal. Actually, it was a literal decade ago, but it was
same. Yeah, it was a good time. Our tour guide was so good that that someone along the Riverwalk just scream like from a previous tour. It was just like best tour guide ever. I thought that was pretty nice.
Oh, that's adorable.
I've also never been to the Billy Goat Tavern. I never actually heard about the Billy Goat Tavern until you mentioned it, Ryan.
When I went downtown and talked about it briefly, that's where
I know, but like I'd never heard about it before then.
I went there like.
Have you seen the SNL skit?
What SNL skit?
Nope.
I went there like 15 years ago, so I don't remember a whole lot, but I remember it being very.
Oh, the cheeseburger.
That's what it's
No.
based on.
Okay.
Yeah.
I they never say Billy Goat Tavern in the episode, do they? In the skit?
I don't think they can.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, just like, there's way more famous stuff in Chicago than the Billy Goat Tavern, I think.
Going briefly back to Wrigleyville is way different than the Sox neighborhood, because the Sox neighborhood has a ton of parking lots and it's very heavily tailgating focused, whereas there are a million fucking bars in Wrigleyville. The
Steve,
entire what?
It's because you don't want to go outside of the Sox stadium.
No,
you do not want to leave that area. You will die.
Yes.
You will
That's not
actually
true.
die.
I'm still here.
What are you talking about?
My parents grew up there.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying that's a very bad area of Chicago.
But yeah, it was the bar, like there's I think every single storefront like we walked past was a fucking bar. It was actually pretty incredible how many bars they managed to cram into such a small space.
Yeah, I mean it's Wrigleyville for a reason.
So we took him on a tour of Millennium Park before we went on the architecture tour, and then we headed over to Navy Pier to round out the day. Just kind of walked around the pier a little bit and ended up getting deep dish pizza, which was so thick it broke my fucking fork.
Oh, that's where. So I couldn't
many
tell from the
C's?
picture. Was it Luz or Giordano's?
It was Giordano's.
Gross.
Good choice.
How many C's?
Boo!
At least 4. It was
Luz is
thick.
superior.
I don't actually. Okay, hot take. I don't even know if I've actually had Illuminati's before. I'm sure I have, but like it didn't stick in my brain.
Steve, can you say that name again?
Illuminati's?
Lou Malnati's.
Malnati's.
Oh, sure.
It's
Lou Malnati's is
There's only
superior.
one
I mean, you
remember
can tell how
opposite.
many times I've been there.
There's one near my parents' house, and I can't think if there's any other ones in the area.
I don't
There's
think
one
so.
there's one around me that's not as good as the one in Chicago, but still pretty decent. So.
The one in Chicago superior. Christine grew up around the original, and that one's really good. We've got a takeout location near us, which is pretty decent, but I don't know. I just think that Lou's is better. I think their crust is way better. I don't know.
See, where it loses me, and this is just a me thing, and not necessarily representative of Lou's as a whole, is that I'm just not the biggest fan of like tomatoes in general, like just like tomato slices or anything like that. And the sauce of Lou's is a lot more tomato chunky. So that's why I personally prefer Giordano's. So
I
get behind that.
Personally, I think Giordano's feels more like a chain, where Lou's feels more like a local thing.
But okay,
I've only had those two.
I know they're
the
both
south
kind of
suburbs.
chains.
I've only had those two in the south suburbs, so I can't speak for their Chicago variants. But I would say generally of the south suburbs one, this is better than Giordano's.
I'll have to try Lou's sometime. Just don't know when I'll get a chance to do that.
Get the butter crust.
Well, yeah. I do. Well, it all depends on whether
I
they do
can't-
gluten-free pizzas.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm pretty sure Giordano's has them. I don't think.
Giordano's does, because Vanessa had one.
Yeah, because I was about to say, I know my Uncle Steve, we had that recently, and he was able to get pizza, because he also has the intolerance for the glutens.
Is that a recent thing? I don't remember.
No,
that.
that's been a thing for like 15 years. He just doesn't make a big deal about it.
Fair enough. And then we caught our train. We caught our train back home. Then on Sunday, Sunday was more low key. We just went to the Volo Auto Museum, which was pretty dope. If you like old and movie cars, would recommend going.
That is very close to me.
Oh yeah, it is. You live up in that area. Yeah, we were up in Volo for yeah, we saw the museum. It was fine.
Yeah,
I'm not much into that stuff, but I go every few years.
Yeah, I haven't been there in a while. I know my mom was really big into cars, and I remember I think we went for a Mother's Day or a Father's Day, and as a special thing, the owner let us into like his house on the property and his personal collection,
Oh, that's super cool.
and that was really neat.
I have a headcanon that it's like a front for some kind of organized crime, because they have so many fucking cars in that property. I do not know how they afford all of that. Like they have there like there was a sign where like they have like a camper display, and they said there's only 6 surviving of this kind of camper, and the museum has 2 of them. It's just like, that's absurd. Where do you I don't know. But that was a good time. The aunt and uncle had a good time experiencing their first time in Illinois, and they also got Garrett's popcorn, which I hadn't heard of until like
You've never heard of Garrett's popcorn?
No. Not until now, but like all of their friends in California are making a huge deal out of it, and I'm just like, I mean, it's just caramel corn mixed with cheese corn. You can just make that yourself, like at the store, but sure.
It's Chicago mix.
You can make it yourself. I just don't understand.
Never heard of Garrett's popcorn?
No, not until recently. No.
It's probably one of the most famous Chicago, like, not like food places, but it's like super famous Chicago food.
I got nothing, man. I just like don't get me wrong, I'm a popcorn junkie, but like it's popcorn. It's not that big of a deal.
It's just also the quality of the popcorn, and they were the first ones to mix those two. And then Okie Doke. So there was this whole thing because Okie Doke trademarked the phrase Chicago mix, and they literally stole it from Garrett's. Like, there's literally court cases about this, and Okie Doke ended up winning. And so Garrett's
bad blood.
And so Garrett's can no longer call it Chicago mix. They have to call it Garrett's mix or something. But it was Chicago mix for like forever, and then Okie Doke just stole it.
They
savagely
bought, like, a ton of like they bought so much fucking popcorn to bring home to California. I'm just like, Jesus fuck, it's popcorn. I don't get it. But
it's famous popcorn.
Hey, I mean, hey, more power to them. But
we went to the city on Saturday to go sailing.
Oh, that's right. How'd that go?
It was fine, but I forgot how much anxiety just even being in a car going downtown gives me.
Oh, God.
I fucking hate driving downtown, even just in a being a passenger in a car. I fucking hate it.
That's why we take the train. The train is fucking dope. Would recommend.
I like visiting downtown Chicago, but I would never want to live there.
Oh, 100% agree with you. And like my brother used to live down there. I'm just like, I don't know how you fucking do it, man. I couldn't stand it. Like,
I guess living down there and having an
either.
apartment. Yeah, having an apartment down there would probably be different because then you can just walk everywhere.
Yeah.
But like, just having to commute there every day. Like if I ever had a job downtown Chicago, I'd 100% take the train.
Oh yeah, the train. I take the metro as often as I can, but like I think we're driving down next week to MSI with a couple friends, or picking up some friends on the way, and we're doing an MSI in the Marvel exhibit they've got going on there.
Oh
so
shit, that's right. That's still there.
You can't get tickets anymore. It's all sold out. It was sold out. Yeah, it was like we bought tickets back in like June for September because like everything was fucking sold out. Like,
I wonder if my dad knows that.
Oh, is he trying to go?
I don't know if because I remember when it was first announced, he's like, "I'll wait because everything." But
no, everything is. If he wants to see it, like maybe look into it. Like right now, there might still be tickets left, but it was sold out for like a straight month before we actually got tickets for it. So. Yeah. But that was a good time.
Okay.
How was the actual sailing?
Fine.
Oh, that's it?
It was fine. Nothing eventful.
Oh.
I wish I had better stories from it, but no.
Was
No.
it wet?
No.
Was there drinks?
Yeah, maybe we drink beer.
Was it moist?
I was in a Stein holding contest before it.
I don't know what that means.
Well, so
did you win?
No. We went to an Oktoberfest. Kind of. Well, so we went. Our local brewery was having an Oktoberfest thing Saturday and Sunday. So Saturday we went to pick up some beers for sailing, and we were kind of like, oh, we have a half hour to kill, so we just stayed for a drink. And mid us being there, the head brewmaster came over to our table because we're sitting there with one of the bartenders, and he was like, "Hey, you in?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm in." And I was, and then he looked at me and he was like, "Are you in?" And I was like, "I guess." And if you don't know, a Stein holding contest is essentially you get a Stein full of something. In this case, it was just water. Essentially, you have to hold it up like arm's length, kind of like you're doing like a cheers kind of thing, and then just last one to drop it wins. And so you're holding a liter of water like this in a ceramic mug. And at first I was kind of like, oh yeah, that's easy. Like, but I was like, I wonder if I'll have time. I only have like 30 minutes. Like, am I gonna have enough time to do this? And then like I'm sitting there and like a minute goes by and people start dropping out. And I'm kind of like, oh no. And the 2 minutes go, 2 minutes go by and I'm like, ooh, starting to feel it. I think I made it to 3 minutes and then I like had to drop out. But I made it to like the second half or so. It was tough. I will admit that. But then my like bicep was hurting all like yesterday and stuff.
Well, whose fault was that?
Oh, mine. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I
Good scrub.
remember
Yeah.
Hofbrauhaus had a Stein holding contest. What may it rest in peace.
Mm-mm. Well, Hofbrauhaus is a chain.
I know, but the
There
one
are
in,
others.
but the one in the Chicagoland area is it closed.
Yes.
I think that was like the one like casualty of the pandemic that affected me
Affected you.
business casualty of the pandemic that
Mm.
affected me personally. I was just like, oh, that's so sad. I love that restaurant.
That's fair. Well, anyways,
Such good beer, such good German food.
thank you guys
Oh,
for
well.
joining us for another episode of the VGRcast. Join us next week for when we announce the next episode of Media Club. We have to vote on that
fuck,
soon.
that's right.
We will not be starting the next episode of Media Club though until October 12th. Media Club will be taking a 2-week break. Podcast might be on the 28th. I'm not sure yet. Definitely no podcast on the 5th because I will not be here, so there'll be no one to start the podcast or anything like that.
Oh, that attitude.
I'm not
your computer.
I'm not doing a podcast from Vegas.
Vegas, baby.
But Kevin, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. You have to broadcast it.
I doubt it.
What?
Anyways.
I don't know,
Um,
man. I'm tired.
So yeah,
Live
make sure
stream yourself at the slots.
Drunk Vegas cast, let's go!
actually people do stream casino stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, oh yeah, it's a big thing on Twitter or on Twitch, and I've actually followed a couple YouTube channels where people just like point their camera at like the slot machine or at the video poker machine and stuff like that.
You have a problem.
That's depressing.
They win lots of money.
Doubt.
I've seen it, man. I've seen them win lots of money.
I wonder how much money you have to put into it though.
Well, so in order to prepare for Vegas, I've started practicing on my phone.
You nerd.
Oh yeah,
Practicing what?
like
Is this gonna be your equivalent of opening Pokemon cards on stream?
like video poker strategy, and like at the beginning of the stream, I got a 4 of a kind, which is worth like 100 times your original bet or something.
That's nice.
I'm not using actual money right now, but whatever. Anyways, thank you guys for joining us. I don't think we're going to be playing games tonight. I don't know. I'm kind of tired. Chris already tapped out. Sounds like other people are tired. So
Yeah.
we'll probably play games tomorrow. Maybe. I know there was talk about Curse Halo tomorrow. I'm not entirely sure. It might also be just another
I'll
chill
watch
night.
that.
Yeah, it might be another chill night where we just kind of hang out, play games again. It's just going to be kind of a whatever kind of night. So
I'm finally done with my video, so I could actually join.
you can't play Cursed Halo though.
2
Don't tell me
players.
what to do.
Or we could do Lasso.
Mike, we can make our own Curse Halo game with blackjack and hookers. In fact, forget the Halo game.
I want to keep playing Lasso, but like I know we shouldn't play Lasso until we have like a solid like 3 hours to kill because it's taking us 2 hours to even get to the stupid grav lift.
And we keep crashing the game.
Yeah, because I think we're taking too long. Anyways, yeah. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. If you like what you see, go ahead and hit the follow button so you know when to go live next. And yeah, we'll be live with either stuff tomorrow or sometime soon. So see you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye!
Penis.
No.